college football out in Greeley, Colorado. Nottingham Field, the site of another highly anticipated conference matchup. It's the Aggies of UC Davis coming in to take on the Bears of Northern Colorado. Hi, everyone. Christian Sias, Matt Gator on the call with you. Matt, look, the story of this game and this matchup, it could not be a different journey for both of these teams. On one hand, for the Aggies, this is a team that had high expectations coming into this season. They have been undefeated in conference play, and they look like a force to be reckoned with. On the other side, for Northern Colorado, they were just trying to take a step in the right direction. They had 2 losing seasons back-to-back these last couple of years, but so far this season, they've taken a big step in the right direction, and they look like a brand-new team.
Yeah, absolutely, Christian. UC Davis, always one of the teams. They're going to be at the top of the Big Sky, 3-0 so far to start conference play. Northern Colorado, coming into the preseason, predicted to finish near the bottom of the Big Sky. They've really turned things around. Still just 1-2 in conference play right now, but anyone that has watched UNC knows that this is a different team that UNC is putting out on the field this year.
Well, let's talk about the Aggies first. 6th in the nation, undefeated in conference play, and they've got a big story coming into this game because their starting quarterback, Caden Pinnock, their star quarterback, I should say, is not eligible to play. He didn't travel with the team, so they're going with their backup, Grant Harper. What do we need to know about the Aggies? Yeah,
big loss losing Caden Pinnock. Like you mentioned, star quarterback has really been leading this team. Grant Harper coming in. Going to be a lefty quarterback, a little bit of a different visuals for those wide receivers. Something we'll have to pay attention to today. They're going to rely heavily on their running backs. Jordan Fisher, 3rd in the Big Sky Conference right now, as well as Carter Vargas. They're going to a good 1-2 punch there in the backfield for this Aggie team.
Well, and for Northern Colorado, they lost to Sac State last week by just 1 score. They upset Idaho the week prior to that in Moscow. But on paper, this is arguably their biggest test so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. This UNC team, especially their offense, has really turned it on in these last 2 games. Our last broadcast here about a month ago, I mentioned they had yet to score 26 points in a game in the Coach Lame era. The last 2 weeks, they've had 40 and 35, so they've really turned it on. Behind, Carver Cheeks had 223 receiving yards just a week ago to go with 3 touchdowns, the second highest mark in UNC D1 history. Carver Cheeks going to be leading the way for this UNC offense today.
UNC has been separated in each of their losses by a margin of less than 1 touchdown. But this is an offense with UC Davis that scores a lot of points. They average nearly 40 points per game. So if Northern Colorado wants to stay in this game, they have to keep up with the Aggies' offense. Northern Colorado will get the football to start things off as it's going to be kicked away by UC Davis. Undefeated in conference play, ranked 6th in the nation. They're coming off a bye week. The week prior to that, they got a win at Northern Arizona, and they are looking to make it 10 consecutive years of victories over the Bears if they can come up with a win here today in Greeley. The weather's perfect, and it's another Saturday of Big Sky college football underway here in Greeley. Kick goes out of the end zone. It's going to start with a touchback, and let's talk about our keys to the game, Matt. What are we looking for Northern Colorado if they want to be successful against this big UC Davis team?
Yeah, this Northern Colorado team, like I mentioned it earlier, they got to come out, get the ball early to Carver Cheeks. That's one of those things. Also, you have to run the ball with success. Looking for them to get the ball going on the ground. Would like to have them have a good first drive here on offense.
Well, and if you're the Aggies, my keys to success for the Aggies, strike first and cause chaos. That's going to be the story for them, especially with backup quarterback in there. But Northern Colorado will take the offense possession first and get things underway. Eric Gibson Jr. starting at quarterback. He'll sling things up the middle to the tight end for the first pass and completion to start this game. Now, Eric Gibson Jr., he was not starting the first game of the season. It was Castelli who was actually the starting quarterback, got injured in the first game of the year here against Chattering State. It's been Gibson Jr. ever since, and Gibson Jr. has put together a heck of a season.
Yeah, and Castelli got injured in the last play of the first half. So he only got 1 half of football so far this season. Like you mentioned, Gibson ever since, and he's been doing a great job stepping up so far this year as the Bears get an early first down.
And a good thing for Northern Colorado, they've got Braden Monroe back. The last time they were playing here at Nottingham Field, Monroe was out with an injury. So it's good for the Bears fans to see some of the pieces that were missing back in action. And for Northern Colorado, they pick up the first down of this ball game. It's going to be another pass play for Gibson Jr. Throws it again up the middle, and that's the first completion to Carver Cheeks, the star target. And they're going to see a lot of that throughout this game.
Yeah, and I was going to say the first 10 to 15 plays always going to be scripted on offense. You know, at least probably 3 to 5 of those are going to be in the direction of Carver Cheeks. That's the first one we see there for him.
Cheeks, not only the best receiver for Northern Colorado, you can make the argument statistically he's one of, if not the best receiver in the Big Sky, leading multiple offensive categories. Here's going to be a handoff, and Northern Colorado punching it through, and they are moving quickly down the field. Brandon Johnson with the run.
Yeah, and a great run there by Brandon Johnson. Good blocking by the O-line. Something I also want to note, couple things. UNC going tempo on offense right now, getting back up to the line early, and also Carver Cheeks. We've seen him in man coverage a couple of times.
Gibson looking far side, ends up just dumping it off to Brandon Johnson, who gets tackled for a gain of just a few.
UNC moving the ball really well right now. That's another key for this offense. You can't have negative plays. Always want to stay ahead of the sticks. Right now they're doing a good job of that. It's 2nd and 6, it looks like.
It's going to be another running play. Brandon Johnson making an impact early in this first quarter, pushing it through for another first down.
And right now, this is the exact drive that you want to start a game. They've been moving the ball perfectly down the field, have yet to face a third down. Getting a whole new front defensive line here for the Aggies.
Opponents are averaging just around 25 points per game against UC Davis. This is a team that has a good combination between offensive power and defensive presence. Right now, Northern Colorado making them work for it a little bit. That's going to be a handoff that didn't really go too far for Northern Colorado.
And a good job there by that D-line from UC Davis. Got right up there in the backfield. First play coming in against a maybe a bit of a tired O-line. You can see UNC going to huddle now.
Frankie Morales in that left pocket of Eric Gibson Jr. It's going to be a little pitch to Carver Cheek. Couldn't quite sweep the edge. And tackled right behind the line of scrimmage. Third down coming up for the Bears.
You know, the two things I just said, hadn't faced a third down and no negative plays. Both of those going to happen right there. Just saw a loss of 2, and for the Bears, going to face their first third down, 3rd and 11.
It's worth noting that this is within the range of their kicker, Jacob Willig. One of the better kickers in the Big Sky, but Northern Colorado wants more than just that.
Absolutely, especially with the way they got this drive started. Want to put 6 on the board.
Pass play coming from Gibson Jr., and he throws too far in front of the outstretched arms of Rocco Terrare. And that's a 4th down coming up, and a nice stop by UC Davis.
Yeah, and a great job there by UC Davis. Like I mentioned, UNC had driven down the field, but then, hey, once they get down near that red zone, UC Davis just bowed their backs a little bit, not letting them get any more yards. Forced the field goal attempt here for what's going to be a 41-yarder.
Jacob Willig, 8 for 11 this season. He's got a strong kick, and it's to the left, though. No good. Had the distance on it, but missed it. And after that drive for Northern Colorado, it ends in a 0, and UC Davis will take over.
And just a tough break there for the Bears after a good opening drive, not being able to come up with any points. Now you want your defense to pick you back up. Would love to get the ball back real quickly after that.
Willig converts 77% of his field goals, ranking 7th in the Big Sky before that kick. Missed it from 41 yards, and UC Davis will get a first look at this new offense led by Grant Harper, who's stepping in for the injured redshirt freshman star quarterback Caden Pinnock. Harper has never started a game as a quarterback. He's a lefty. He slings it off to the side, and the tackle made. Pickup of about 2.
You know, I like that play, though, there for UC Davis. First start for Harper. Yeah, he's one of the more veteran guys on this team, but just give him an easy completion right there. Get the game started for him.
Stacey Dobbins was his target. And here's going to be a run play by Grant Harper. Harper picks up a couple yards. He's a 5th-year senior, has had a wide experience at the college level, but has played behind some very talented quarterbacks in his time. Lost the starting role to Caden Pinnock to start this season, getting his first looks on 3rd down coming up right now. Aggies setting up out of the shotgun. Batu is the top receiver, but instead it's going to be Harper, and Harper's going to run it himself and dive ahead for a first down.
And, you know, we knew coming into this game that Pinnock could really use his legs. He was the third leading rusher for this UC Davis team. Good to see UC Davis still going to have a little bit of that element, at least, here with Harper in the game.
Well, you talked about it in the open. This is a team for UC Davis that relies on the run game, both from a quarterback perspective and with their running backs. A two-combo running back set that they go between Fisher and Vargas. But this one's going to be a pass. Nope, he's going to run it. And he saw plenty of space. First down and more up to the 50-yard line. Grant Harper so far is moving quickly down the field with his legs.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one was a design pass, but he sees nothing's open. The middle of the field is wide open for him, though. Just elects to take off and run. Picks up almost 15 there. As the Aggies are going tempo again.
Well, and I understand the idea of keeping the ball on the ground because Northern Colorado is the number one defense in passing yards allowed in the Big Sky Conference. This is a team that's tough to pass against. So I would imagine them to pound the run game as much as possible.
Yeah, and also have a pretty good pass rush as well. Had 3 sacks a week ago against Sac State, so doing a good job getting after the quarterback.
Northern Colorado's team passing efficiency defense, top 5 in the FCS. Here's a pass by Grant, throws it high and overthrows his intended target. Harper let that one fly a little bit. That was his top receiving target, Samuel Bato Jr.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, just threw a little bit above his head, unable to get to that one. Big play here. Also, could be this part of the field. If they can pick up 4 to 5 yards, they may go for it on 4th down here. So UNC don't want to give them anything easy.
In motion was Fisher. Fisher's the running back. It's going to be a pass play. Shot down the field for Harper, and it's tipped up into the air, incomplete. Almost intercepted. Northern Colorado got a hand on it, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Thomas McCormick was there to make the stop. And actually, that was none other than Cam Chapa. Cam Chapa there to get a hand on it. Came flying out from midfield. And, I mean, I think everyone in the stands thought that was going to be an easy pick.
Yeah, it looked like he definitely had a beat on it for sure. Had to battle through that receiver, though, and still a good job by the Bears forcing a punt here.
Chapa, one of the best defensive players in the Big Sky. High punt into the sun. And it is going to bounce, take a favorable bounce, but it did hit within the end zone. And it's going to be a touchback. Both teams get quickly past midfield, but then stall out on their drives. And we got a 0-0 game here early in the first quarter. Their drive stalled out, forcing a punt. And Northern Colorado will start after the touchback at the 20-yard line. I liked what I saw from Northern Colorado's offense, though, on their last drive. Just couldn't quite get that last push into the red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of looked like they maybe just abandoned their offense a little bit, got behind the chains, then that really threw things off.
Braden Monroe gets a couple blocks and will push his way up. Good to see him back in action here. As, like I had said last time, Northern Colorado was playing here in Greeley. Monroe was out with an injury. Another really positive target for this Northern Colorado team. Doesn't quite get the same love as Carver Cheeks, but he is still a very strong force at the wide receiver mark.
Absolutely.
Gibson's going to take another passing play, has some time. He's got some good blocks. This time it's Cheeks, and Cheeks trying to battle his way up to the 40-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the 40, and that'll move the sticks.
Yeah, and Gibson had options there. He had Cheeks coming across the field. Braden Monroe also wide open there in the middle of the field. His top 2 receivers both open. Going to have a good day for quarterback anytime you get those looks.
Well, the 1-2 combo of Eric Gibson Jr. and Carver Cheeks has elevated both players. Gibson ranks 9th nationally in passing yards per game, 4th in the Big Sky in completion percentage. And, of course, Carver Cheeks, we already talked about him, one of the top receivers in the nation. Braden Monroe drops one a little bit behind his body, but he hits himself in the helmet. He knows he had to come down with that.
Yeah, that's when you got to come down with if you're Monroe. And like you mentioned, he absolutely knows that. A little frustration there shown from him. Just got to get it right back now. Set up a 2nd and 10 for the Bears. UC Davis going to look to take advantage.
Well, this is a Northern Colorado team that is playing with a chip on their shoulder. I'd mentioned in our open, a couple losing seasons consecutively. They started they started Coach Ed Lamb's tenure 1-22, but have since then turned things around this season, getting a couple big wins, none bigger than their win against ranked Idaho a couple weeks ago, but also some of their losses have been very, very close. We all know about their loss against Colorado State to open the season up, a game that, in my opinion, probably should have ended up in the win category. There was a controversial call at the end of that. But this is a Northern Colorado team that has been in every single game they've played this season, trying to force an upset here in enemy territory. UC Davis all over that one. Tackle was made by Sam Goligoski. The first sack of the game.
Yeah, and they got right after Gibson real quick on that one. Just nothing for him to be able to do there. Sets up a 4th and 18. And the first we're going to see of the punter for the Bears, Leo Blumentritt.
End over end punt. Takes a positive bounce and ends up on the ground. But jumping on top of it was UC Davis. And it'll serve as the ball placed at about the 25-yard line. UC Davis will switch spots with the Bears. And with that, we will take a break as well. Still zeros on the score here in Greeley. UC Davis football coming out of the timeout. Just their second look at their offense here so far, led by Grant Harper. Harper was able to make an impact in the rushing game in his first drive, getting up past the 50-yard line before the drive stalled out. UC Davis starting 3-0 in conference play for the second consecutive year. If they get a win here today, it would be the second consecutive time that they have started 4-0 in conference play. And that is a mound of blue jerseys tackling just about a yard past the line of scrimmage. Good defensive coverage right there on the line.
Yeah, just a great job stuffing that run. And you mentioned Harper in that previous drive for the Aggies. They had 28 yards before they stalled out. Harper had 24 of those on the ground.
Jordan Fisher, the running back. Fisher and Vargas each have multiple 100-yard rushing games so far this season. It's going to be a pass play, and it's going to target Fisher. And Fisher comes up with a nice pass there by Grant Harper.
That's the longest pass we've seen from Harper. Completed pass that we've seen from him today.
Quick snap. This time it's Fisher on the ground.
Yeah, and they were up and ready to go immediately after that ball was set. So far early in this game, looks like something they're trying to focus on after they pick up a first down. Going right back to the ball immediately.
Changing positions on the field. Here's the snap. Harper, wide open, man. Here's some flags in the backfield, but that's going to be a catch all the way up into enemy territory. That was Batu Jr., but some flags near the Northern Colorado sideline. It's going to be, looks like, there you go. Illegal substitution on Northern Colorado. That was a blown play from the beginning.
Yeah, and there you can see is that at the start of that replay, UNC had a guy still running off the field as that ball was snapped. Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Harper takes it himself, dives his way up past the 40. We've talked about Grant Harper. He is a guy who's been waiting for his opportunity. Mentioned it earlier, he lost the starting role in camp this year to redshirt freshman Caden Pinnock. And now with an opportunity, Pinnock out, not traveling with the team. An opportunity for Grant Harper to make an impact in this very good UC Davis team. The lefty faking it, throws it, and makes the completion. Stacey Dobbins, Northern Colorado wanted a hold. No flags on the play, and Dobbins able to come up with it.
And it was on the edge right there, that right tackle. Just does a great job keeping his hands inside. Get a little bit to the outside there towards the end, but he let go at the right time. I think that's a good no call there against UNC.
Harper flushes out far side, up the middle, and it's in and out of the hands. It was too strong for his intended target, Zach Jones. Just kind of bounced off his chest.
And a good job by Nowatzki there, breaking that one up. Like you said, just throwing a little bit behind him.
Second and 10 now coming up from the 29-yard line. Handoff, Dobbins this time, sweeping across, and he's tackled at the 25-yard line. Stacey Dobbins, who just made that great catch on the far sideline, picks up a couple on the run.
And a good job just getting around to the end there. Bounced off a couple of hits, able to pick up 6 yards on that one. Sets up a big third down now. UNC trying to force their own field goal attempt here from the Aggies. After a good drive so far.
3rd and 4. Fisher, the running back. Harper through the middle. Incomplete pass, no flags, and it brings up 4th down.
And a good job by Frankie Morales there, just right on top of the intended receiver. Able to break that one up.
And Hunter Ridley will come out to attempt the field goal.
Going to be about a 40-yarder from here.
Ridley has a season-high 45-yarder earlier this year. So this is well within his range. We've already seen a missed 40-yard field goal from Northern Colorado. Ridley. And it's good. Hunter Ridley with the first points of the game for UC Davis. 3-0 the score as defense continues to be the story here in Greeley. It's the Bears and the Aggies on ESPN+. Well, the first points of the game come from UC Davis' Hunter Ridley, who knocks down a 40-yard field goal. 3-0 the score. Aggies up over the Bears. And UC Davis will send things deep. If they can get a win here today, it would set them atop the Big Sky Conference at 4-0. It's a big game for the Aggies, especially in this very competitive Big Sky Conference. I've seen a lot of teams, including Northern Colorado, take a step up from last season. Saw a game yesterday, Sacramento State and Montana. A lot of people had eyes on that game. Montana came away with the victory. There have been some close matchups across the Big Sky. We'll talk more about some of the other games happening in our areas later in the broadcast. But right now, UC Davis and Northern Colorado neck and neck early in this first quarter. 2 minutes remaining here in the first. And really the story has been the defense. See if the Aggies can come up with another stop. Northern Colorado got close to the red zone on their first drive, but that stalled. Trying to get back down the field here. Shot from Eric Gibson Jr. Incomplete. The pass was where he wanted it. Maybe a little bit short, but that was just good coverage.
Trying to get the ball to Dawson Menegatti on that one. His first target of the game.
Here comes Cheeks in motion. And it's going to be Cheeks. Cheeks trying to get around a block. Sidesteps a defender. And we'll set up a third down and manageable. That's a great play by your top receiver there.
Absolutely, just doing a great job making a guy miss. Picks up an additional 4 yards on that one.
You talk about him making a guy miss. That was really what set up the ability to even get positive yards at all on that play. He was being trailed by Kalani Riddick.
This is third and less than a foot. You can see where the ball's at on your screen. Just have to get to the 35-yard line.
And push through.
Get it there.
And that looks like that's going to be enough.
Brought in Hank Gibbs.
Yep. Gibbs, their 6'5", kind of tight end quarterback specialist, who comes in and for those moments exactly. And Gibbs the second.
No, Frank Thompson, one of the interior linemen for the Bears, lost his helmet on that play. Had to come out. See if he goes back in after this one.
Gibson looking far side the whole time, and incomplete pass. Again, good coverage on the outside by UC Davis.
Yeah, and that was just great coverage out there. Not giving Cheeks any space on that.
Drew Cofield was there in coverage.
That's how you want to guard him. You do not want him to get in space.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Low-scoring affair, especially for these two teams. Gibson, plenty of time, now in trouble, now running out of the pocket, and the ball's on the ground. He was blindsided, and UC Davis will take over at the 30.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of inexperience by Gibson. He's got to feel that pressure, especially as he's out of the pocket. He can see it, but he's just still holding that ball loose in his throwing hand. Hasn't even tucked it yet to run away with it. Easy for the defender to knock that ball out there, as you'll see here at the end of the play. He's got to throw it away or tuck it.
Trent Carade came in there, knocked it loose.
And totally trying to make a play. Thinks he sees a guy downfield, but it's one of those sometimes maybe doing a little bit too much can hurt your team. That's what happens there. Good field position now for the Aggies.
That is a game-changing play here in this first quarter. UC Davis almost in field goal range as it is. Here's a run. Carter Vargas. The second half of that running back combo for the Aggies will put it up to about the 25.
And starting to get a little bit more traction on the ground besides Harper.
Well, they have so many weapons. UC Davis, I mean, you've got a good receiving core. You've got a couple great running backs. And even though you're on your backup quarterback, Grant has shown that he's up for the task. He's been waiting for his opportunity. He's been waiting for his moment, and he has it here in Greeley with his team up 3-0. We reach the end of the first quarter. And it's the Bears and the Aggies. Second quarter coming up next on ESPN+. Well, a fumble by Eric Gibson Jr. for Northern Colorado allows the turnover, and now UC Davis knocking on the door of the red zone here. Ball going to be placed at about the 24-yard line for their offense to take over on 2nd and 3 to start the second quarter. Jordan Fisher, the running back this time. Plenty of time. Harper sees a man open. That's Fisher. Wide open for the touchdown. And UC Davis ups their lead to 9.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher looks like he just got lost in coverage there in the defensive secondary for the Bears. You'll watch him here out of the backfield. Just doesn't get picked up. Looks like Zach Nowatzki a little bit behind on it. Easy touchdown there for UC Davis.
The extra point coming up for UC Davis is good. 10-0 the score, and turnovers prove costly, and then especially here early in this game against a tough opponent like UC Davis.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the Bears, Eric Gibson, going to be looking to come out, get that right back, get some points on the board of yourself. You've had a couple of good starts to a good drive. You just got to capitalize it now.
And for Northern Colorado, we talked earlier in the game about their ability to stay in every single game they've been in this year. Again, their largest deficit that they've lost by this season was 8. They've lost by a touchdown or less in every single game.
Yep.
But you see a young team, a team that's growing, trying to take a step forward after having a couple losing seasons. It seems like Northern Colorado has really struggled to get over that hump, finish the fourth quarter strong and really overcome that last touchdown deficit that they find themselves facing in a lot of these games.
Yeah, no, 100%. They're still a team that is learning how to win. Like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 1-22 in the first 2 years under Coach Lamb, 0-11 in year 1, 1-11 in year 2. Already have 3 wins this year, but still it's just learning how to win. This is, unfortunately for UNC, everyone that has cheered on or watched UNC in the past knows, not a team that has a lot of winning history, especially at the D1 era. So that's what Coach Lamb is really working on with this team. Is this kick looks like it may go out of bounds. No, it takes a good bounce.
And it is going to be returned. Northern Colorado gets a chance to make something happen there.
And yeah, just to finish up what I was saying, they're still trying to learn how to win. It's putting everything together as a team for 4 quarters. You can stay in a game or even be leading a game, but it's just finding a way to close out and get that victory. That is what UNC is trying to learn how to do right now.
Well, they lost in overtime at South Dakota early in the year. We all know about the Colorado State game. They lost 17-21. You lost 18-26 here at home versus Idaho State. I mean, and there's been neck and neck games this entire season. And you don't want to play the what if game, but a couple things fall your way and you're looking at a completely different record. So this is a team that is taking a step in the right direction. You give a lot of credit to Coach Lamb here in his 3rd season with Northern Colorado. He's taken this team, like I said, a team that didn't really get a lot of credit over these last couple of years, understandably so, and brought them to be a force this year in the Big Sky.
Yeah, they're definitely not see the team on your schedule and circle it as a win anymore. You have to know you got to show up and play your A game against this UNC team.
And that's especially with dealing with some of the injuries. Again, Eric Castelli went out on the first game of the season with an injury. Their starting quarterback. They've battled through adversity and continued to thrive here. But they're playing from behind against UC Davis, and here comes the flag as the tackle was made. It looked like that was Charlie Garrison who made the catch for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, and we'll see what this call is. I'm not sure exactly who this is going against.
The flag came out right about where Garrison made the catch.
Looked like it was out before he made it, though.
Correct. So they got it on Monroe. Yeah, they got it on Braden Monroe.
I wonder if they're calling it a pick play.
So Garrison was the target. He was the one who ended up catching the pass from Gibson. But it was
and that's my
Monroe.
assumption is it has to have been a pick play or something along those lines, just with how quickly it happened and where it was called.
So that pushes Northern Colorado back. Northern Colorado is one of the top teams when it comes to limiting penalties in the Big Sky. They limit to just 4 penalties on average per game. Brandon Johnson, the running back, tiptoeing his way through. What a run! Brandon Johnson, after the penalty, gets enough for a first down.
Yeah, and just a simple draw there on 1st and 25. Able to pick up, looks like 16 yards. Sets up a 2nd and 9, but much more manageable, though, now.
I'll go back to what I was saying, though, about the penalties. Northern Colorado ranks 8th nationally and 1st in the Big Sky in fewest penalty yards per game. They average just around 32 penalty yards per game. This is a very disciplined team. Wide open. Brandon Johnson just dropped it. Oh, man, he had about 10 yards at least in front of him.
I think he's got that first down if he's able to secure the catch. And I think he might have been thinking the same thing and just got a little bit too far ahead of himself, unable to complete the process of making the catch there.
It's almost the idea that you start running before you actually come down with the catch. Tough one for Johnson, especially after that big run.
And we've seen a couple drops now for the Bears, one from Johnson just now and one from Monroe in their last drive.
Sets up 3rd down and 9. Pressure looks like it's coming from that line. Gibson Jr. steps back to reset things. 5 seconds on the play clock. Got to get a snap off here, and he does. Pressure up the middle. Throw incomplete. Great coverage there by UC Davis all over that one. That was Cole Batson who got a hand in it.
And again, Charlie Garrison, the intended target, just doing a great job getting in there. A lot of contact, but it was at the perfect timing. Again, I think that's a good no call there. And the Bears forced to punt.
Batson got the hand in the cookie jar, and Northern Colorado comes up with a 4th and 9. This time a spiral punt high, and it's fielded at the 15-yard line. Nice punt there for Northern Colorado and UC Davis once again. And look, I mean, yes, UC Davis out to an early lead, 10-0, but it feels like, from my perspective, the fact that UC Davis isn't allowing Northern Colorado's offense to really get down the field, that has been what's allowed them to really just move forward right now. So UC Davis going to have the football when we come back, 10-0 up over the Bears. UC Davis taking over possession here, up 10-0. Northern Colorado had to punt on their last drive. And Grant Harper with Carter Vargas sneaking in at running back. Aggies stack up the line. Going to be a little bit of a reverse, and down the sideline. Great play, and Batu Jr. takes a hit as he's going out of bounds.
And just a jet sweep there. Batu Jr. with a ton of room, though, around that edge.
Officials holding everything out, and now they say he can go. Lineman in motion. 2 receivers set on the far side of the field. Nobody out near side. Harper up the middle, has some separation, and the catch is made. Ian Simpson, the target.
And right now this O-line from UC Davis doing a great job against this Bears pass rush. Had a double team on Ekubon there.
Well, remember, UC Davis returned their entire offensive line this year from last season.
I actually misspoke there. That double team was against McCurr Abram.
Especially if you're going to have a new quarterback in there. We got flags on the play. Pass incomplete. But if you're going to have a new quarterback in there, it's nice to have some stability across other areas of your offense, especially on that offensive line. And that is the 3rd penalty on Northern Colorado in this game. Again, remember, they only average 4 penalties per game.
It's the 2nd time, though, they've been called with illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. Cannot be having that if you're UNC. Don't want to give UC Davis any extra help here.
UC Davis quickly making their way up past the 50-yard line. Simpson takes off. It's going to be Vargas this time. Vargas dragging defenders up to the 1st down marker inside the 40-yard line. We have not seen Jordan Fisher yet on this drive, but Vargas making his name count, getting the 1st down.
UC Davis right now, they're just going slow and methodical. We saw that tempo offense earlier. Right now, just taking their time.
Playing in control, up 10-0 here. UC Davis is coming off of a bye week last week. They got a win against Northern Arizona the week prior to that. Trying to get the ever-elusive win after a bye week. Grant Harper has plenty of space in front of him, and he's going to opt to run it, and runs it out of bounds, short of a 1st down.
Able to pick up about 6 yards on that one, though, to the edge. For this UNC defense, got to find a way to find a stop here. Even force a field goal attempt.
Well, remember, UC Davis will get the football back to start the 2nd half. So, although you still got 10.5 minutes to go here in this 2nd quarter, Northern Colorado doesn't want to let this one get away from them. Harper in trouble. Grab from behind, tackled. It was Little at the end who came through and made the stop, but a couple yards for Grant Harper.
Yeah, and a good job there just staying with it. Force a 3rd and 5 right here. Get a chance to get off of the field.
Well, Levi Little did a good job of just getting a grip on Harper there too. Harper almost snuck out of it. I would say it saved a possible first down, if not a 3rd and really short. 3rd down and 5. Carter Vargas in the right pocket of Harper. Harper out to the right. He's got plenty of room. He decides to throw it, and he's got his man wide open. That's Batu Jr. Touchdown, UC Davis.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, it looked like Harper had plenty of room to run for that first down. Instead, finds Batu Jr. able to pick up another touchdown. Batu Jr. just beats his man in coverage there.
Batu Jr. recorded his first 100-yard receiving game against Weber State earlier this year. He's got a touchdown now to go with it here in Greeley. 16-0. UC Davis showing why they average just around 40 points per game here in the Big Sky Conference. Extra point is good. And Northern Colorado now going to be fighting from behind out of a big deficit that they have to overcome thanks to Grant Harper and his top receiver, Batu Jr. Step aside for a quick break. Did that Hail Mary not make it, by the way?
No, it looked short.
UC Davis rolling early here in this first half, 17-0 against Northern Colorado. And Northern Colorado, you got to feel like this is kind of a must-score situation for them. Again, you know, they're giving the ball back to UC Davis to start the second half. Yes, you got plenty of time still left in this first half, but Northern Colorado just has not been able to get that last push to get the ball in the red zone, an opportunity to score.
No, I completely agree with you, Christian. Going down 3 scores already. Still not, again, plenty of time left. That's not the issue. There's still 9 minutes left in the second quarter. It's just you're already down 3 scores in the first half. Worst case scenario here is a short drive. UC Davis then puts up another touchdown, goes up 4 scores, and gets the ball at the start of the half. So UNC needs to have a good drive here. Ideally, take some time off the clock and put up points. Do not want to give the ball right back to UC Davis.
Yeah, time is not really the issue for Northern Colorado. It's their opponent, UC Davis, a top-ranked Big Sky opponent, number 6 in the country. It cannot fall too far behind against the Aggies because of reasons like that. A sack from behind the line, or a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, I should say, and a loss of a couple. UC Davis, one of the reasons they're so successful is they can hurt you on both sides of the football. Their defense obviously playing extremely well, not allowing Northern Colorado to get any points on the board so far. The closest UNC got to a scoring opportunity was a field goal that they missed the first drive of the game. Eric Gibson Jr. cutting across the middle. The catch is made by Braden Monroe, and he stays up. Able to keep on his feet.
Able to pick up 4 yards, but going to set up a 3rd and 9 now after the loss on first down. And like you mentioned, that first drive that UNC had, they came out and looked really good in those first 10 or so plays, those scripted plays. But since then, UC Davis done a great job of adjusting, getting UNC out of their rhythm. And now have a chance to force another 3 and out. UNC needs to get at least 9 yards here.
Big 3rd down. Carver Cheeks with it. He's got to make a bunch of moves here. Sidesteps one defender, running through, up to the first down. That is Carver Cheeks in true form.
Carver Cheeks doing a great job there. Looked to cut it inside for a split second, made the right move, going back out and around, and able to go and pick up that first down. There's where he almost made that cut, then just goes for the edge and fights through the contact as well. Doesn't elect to go out of bounds. Knows, hey, he's got to deal with some contact to pick up the first.
That's a huge first down for Northern Colorado. Could not afford to give the football back to UC Davis under that circumstance. Cheeks going to go in motion. It's going to be a pass play to Cheeks. Cheeks has it. He has a blocker. Cheeks still going. And they're going to have to carry him up past the 45.
And a great job by Charlie Garrison there. He was a lead blocker right after Cheeks caught that pass coming around the line of scrimmage. An unselfish play there from Garrison. Should see it here on the replay. Just out in front of him, knocks the defender over, opens up space for Cheeks.
UC Davis will use their first timeout, and we will take a timeout with them as well. Northern Colorado trying to put some points on the board when we come back with the score 17-0, Aggies over the Bears. Well, Northern Colorado, thanks to Carver Cheeks, able to pick up a couple first downs, and they will have the football right now. Still inside their own 50-yard line. Eric Gibson Jr. standing out there, waiting for the officials to give him the all clear. And here we go. Matthias Price, the running back. And it's going to be Price. Price running through. Picks up a couple there.
Yeah, able to pick up 4 there on first down, and actually going to give him an extra yard, maybe. Looks like 4 to 5. On this one. Little surprised, though, as we were talking about Carver Cheeks, that UNC hasn't taken a shot downfield to him. They've definitely gotten the ball to him a lot. That's what you need to do, but really surprised they haven't just taken a shot. He's been in man coverage quite a bit, as we're going to get an injury here on the field, but Cheeks is that type of receiver. He is dominant in those 50-50 balls. They're really not 50-50, though, to him. It's more 60-40, 70-30. So I'd like to see him take a shot downfield here at some point.
Well, and Carver Cheeks, just last week against Sacramento State, 223 yards receiving. He's got big playability. That's no surprise. But I agree. I think as you get closer, if you're Northern Colorado, you get closer towards that red zone, you know that's the matchup that they're going to be looking at. I mean, UC Davis knows that's the target they're going to be going with. So UC Davis, by the way, because of the injury timeout, they are forced to use a timeout.
And it's because it's after the ball was already spotted that defender went down. If he had been hurt immediately, not saying he wasn't hurt immediately, but if he had gone down immediately after the player before that ball was spotted, wouldn't have been charged that timeout, but it's because it was after. That's that new rule in college football. We've seen it a lot, especially in those SEC Big Ten games, those super big matchups, allegedly coaches having a player go down to stop the clock, get that defense a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. So UC Davis charged with a timeout. Now both teams have used one timeout. Gibson out of the pocket. Throws, the catch is made, and a nice tackle.
A good job there by Kyrius Boone, just holding onto that ball. Looks like he's able to pick up maybe a yard, half a yard, but just to hold on to this ball after taking that hit and bobbling it a little bit.
Yeah, Riddick came in.
Good job right there.
Hard. I mean, he almost punched him when he stood up with that fist pump. You know, I mean, he was fired up after that play.
3rd and 4. I think this is 2-down territory here for the Bears unless you lose yards. Got to get this offense going.
Brandon Johnson lined up on the bottom of your screen, the running back. Quick pass, and that might be exactly what they're looking for here.
And they did lose a yard, about a yard on that, though.
But that pass was not, I mean, that pass behind the line of scrimmage, even if he is able to get past the line of scrimmage, maybe you look at 1-2 yards, and they're staying in the huddle there. So I think Coach Lamb and his offensive coordinators, they were assuming this is 2-down territory as well.
Like to see a hard count here. Try to get him to jump off sides. went for it, but good job by the UC Davis D-line. Got to be looking at Carver Cheeks here, you would think.
Carver Cheeks at the bottom of your screen. Instead, they go far side, and it is on the ground. Monroe was the target. An incomplete pass. That will turn the ball over on downs. And now UC Davis with a huge opportunity to not just pad their lead, but to take some time off the clock and go into halftime with a score and get the football back after the break.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what happened there, too, because Braden Monroe, definitely the intended target there, but he was way off. It looked like that might have been an option route for Monroe, is what I'm assuming. Had the option between either a go route or some type of hitch, and I think Gibson was maybe reading the hitch there, and Monroe just kept on going.
Yeah, Monroe was
not particularly close there.
He had his back turned. He was running up the field, and to be fair to Monroe, he actually had some separation.
He did.
But the ball was headed behind him. Harper has it, and Harper's wrapped up and tackled for a loss. Nice play by the defensive line of Northern Colorado getting in to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's going to be Dom Butts getting in there, getting the TFL. If you're UNC, got to be thinking, hey, they'd love to get their first 3 and out of the game, get this ball back.
And you can see UC Davis taking some time off the clock. They are in no hurry at this point, up 17-0, and getting the football back out of the second half. Tight end in motion. Harper taking a shot downfield, and the catch was made. What a grab. Batu Jr. does it again. He's got a touchdown earlier in this game, and that a behind-the-back catch. What a pass.
And that was just a design shot to Batu. If you saw the receivers on the right side of that play, barely even ran around. They knew, hey, this ball's going to Batu no matter what. That's one of those, the coach is just saying, hey, we're going to put the hands of the ball of our best receiver, see what happens. Able to get a big pickup there inside of the red zone now.
I was talking to some of the athletic department for UC Davis before this game when they were telling me that Caden Pinnock, the starting quarterback, was out, not traveling with the team in this game. And I was asking about Grant Harper as he has the football here, throws it on a cut route up the middle, and another touchdown. Once again, UC Davis punches it through, and they are rolling in Greeley. Well, to finish that point about Harper, they were saying, look, Harper barely lost the starting job to Pinnock. It's not like it was a blowout. Pinnock, one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Sky in the country this season, but Harper proving that he should not be overlooked as he is crushing it here in Greeley, 23-0 and 24-0 pending this extra point.
Yeah, I think Harper proven a little bit, might not be the prototypical backup quarterback. He can definitely come out here and throw the ball a little bit. Doing a great job with his legs as well.
The extra point for UC Davis. It is all Aggies in this first half.
For Harper, that's his 3rd passing touchdown of the game.
And we still got another half of football. That is just a perfect pass.
For Harper so far, 10 of 14 for 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. Has 34 yards on the ground as well.
I should give credit to the receiver there. Pickett was the one who was cutting across, able to get the touchdown to make it 24-0. This is a very young team for UC Davis. Again, talk about Pinnock. Their quarterback is a redshirt freshman. They've got a handful of young players on both offense and defense, but they are playing with an intensity and fire throughout this entire season that has allowed them to really dominate in the Big Sky. They are ranked 6th in the nation, and they have their sights set on a Big Sky Conference championship, which they are well on their way to headed in that direction.
And right now, it's still technically just a 3-score game. UNC being down only 24, but you would think, hey, got to find a way to get some points on the board going into half. Especially knowing that UC Davis is going to get the ball coming out with the second half and how good their offense has looked.
Well, UC Davis is turning a lot of heads this entire season. They found themselves playing on the Big Ten Network earlier this year when they were playing at Washington, and going to be on ESPN2's flagship station when they play number 2 Montana in November. Montana State, I should say, in November. It's a team that a lot of people are going to be watching as this season goes on. Northern Colorado trying to fight for it here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at UC Davis, since that first drive where they had to punt around midfield, they've been unstoppable. Had a field goal and then 3 straight touchdown drives for the Aggies. UNC, their longest drive, still the first drive of the game where they got 51 yards and had that missed field goal. Since then, drives of 12, 12, 14, and 27.
Northern Colorado, 3 receivers set up on the near side with Cheeks in motion. Gibson out of the pocket. Flag comes in the backfield. That's a high pass. It's caught. We'll see if that's coming back. Might be a hold on Northern Colorado.
Yeah, with where that flag was thrown, you got a defensive lineman walking around without a helmet. More than likely hands to the face.
Yeah, you're right.
Either hands to the face or holding, but it's going against Frank Thompson.
And I'll say it again, a team that is not known for a lot of penalties. Northern Colorado has eclipsed their average, their game average of 4 penalties per game already here in the first half.
Yeah, and again, getting behind the sticks right now, not what you want to do. Can't give UC Davis the ball back with another chance to score in this half.
Second down and 19. It's Carver Cheeks this time, and Cheeks cutting through. Little ankle breaker out there for Cheeks.
And I'll tell you what, he was not far from getting through 3 defenders right there. Made the first guy miss, almost got through the second 2.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Just so shifty when he gets into open space.
He reminds me a lot of, in different position, but he reminds me a lot of Austin Eckler when Eckler was playing back at Western State, Colorado, when he was playing in the RMAC. You know, you got him the football, and he just made guys miss. Such a playmaker on the ground. This time, Matthias Price going to take it. But Carver Cheeks, you know, I mean, you look at, sometimes he has the football, and you look at the guys surrounding him, and you think he might not get another yard, and somehow he ends up picking up 8 or 9 after that.
Yep, exactly, and that's just the type of player that he is. And heading into the 2-minute timeout now, UNC potentially with a decision to make on 4th and 2, would probably expect them to punt.
Yeah,
we'll see what they do.
We'll find out after this break. Northern Colorado coming back after this. Welcome back. 4th down coming up here for Northern Colorado. So they will punt things away with their ball placed at the 33-yard line.
This is where can't run a fake here. UC Davis keeping out their defense.
Northern Colorado has just not found really any spark here in this first half. That punt goes out of bounds. Good punt, though.
Had a good hang time on it also.
Yeah. Going to be placed at the 15-yard line. And look, I had said it in the open, you know, defensively, Northern Colorado has a good defensive set. One of the top teams coming into this game in the Big Sky defensively, especially in pass defense. But you knew that UC Davis was going to score. Their offense, too potent of a team to be held to just 1 or 2 scores. So the key to the game for Northern Colorado was and still is, you got to keep up. And they just haven't done that here in the first half.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even with the backup quarterback, this UC Davis offense has still just been absolutely rolling. And it's kind of has been the offense of old, or what we saw earlier in the season for UNC. Just after that first drive, really have not got it going. Too many mistakes, self-inflicted wounds.
Harper out of the pocket, dumps it off to Jordan Fisher, the speedy running back. Got tackled inbounds.
And we're actually going to see, it looks like Coach Lamb using his His first time out.
So Northern Colorado will take their first timeout of this first half. What do you think of that timeout? You think, I mean, is this a situation where Coach Lamb theoretically wants to get the ball back?
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. I like the aggressiveness. You got to take it there if you're trying to get the ball back. But after giving up 6 yards on first down, it could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, you're down 24-0. Understandably, got to be aggressive. Try to turn things over.
Yeah, and it's one of those, if his team gets a stop right here on second down, force a third down, it could work out for you. I think you got to at least try it.
Yeah. UC Davis, so many weapons. We've seen that Grant Harper can pass it. Obviously got a very good running game. See what they have to go with this time. They're going to go on the ground to Fisher, and Fisher with some space. Plenty of room for Jordan Fisher. Switches the field and up to the 35-yard line.
And see, that's where it's one of the, it could also bite you in the back like that. UC Davis now quickly into Northern Colorado territory.
Jordan Fisher, so speedy, able to get down the field. Was tackled by Cam Chapa, who saved the touchdown.
And now plenty of time here for the Aggies. Minute 39 on the clock, still with one timeout left. Clock will stop briefly on first downs as well. Time shouldn't be a factor.
Easy new set of downs for UC Davis. Pass play. It's completed to Stacy Dobbins, and Dobbins tackled. Stacy Dobbins in their previous game against Northern Arizona had a huge game, breaking out with 4 catches for 71 yards. He caught his first career touchdown in that game. One of the many weapons that we've seen for UC Davis. 2 tight end set. Here's the snap. Grant has time, and he just throws it away. Well out of the pocket.
Yeah, it's a smart play there. Just get rid of it, stop the clock.
And he looked like he wanted to take a shot there for a moment, but you're right, that was the smart play. Your worst case scenario here in this situation for UC Davis, you cannot have a turnover.
No, yeah.
So a smart play by Grant Harper, the 5th-year senior, to just throw it away there.
And you mentioned earlier, UC Davis kickers long on the season, 45 yards. From where they're at right now, it would be about a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah, his career high is 46. That's Hunter Ridley, who was the man who got the scoring started for UC Davis. Penalty flags coming in deep in the secondary. The other thing that this half has done, if you're UC Davis, I mean, it's completely taken this crowd out here at Nottingham Field. Northern Colorado fans, you felt excited, anticipation coming into this game. You had an upset earlier against Idaho on the road in Moscow. You thought that, this was an opportunity for them to really come out and make a statement win here at home. Obviously still plenty of game left, but these fans slowly trying to get their way back into this game. Grant Harper, incomplete pass. That was dangerous. McCord Abram.
Yeah, the D-line dropped down into coverage there, and it's one of those he might like to have back. Yeah, he did a great job getting his hand on it, but if he realized how much space he has, maybe try to make a play out there, come up with a pick.
McCord Abram able to get the deflection there.
Now UC Davis in punt formation. That delay game penalty hurt him, backed him up 5 yards. Don't want to attempt a 55-yarder, doesn't look like. Also have a 24-point lead, so going to play it safe.
Yeah, understandably.
That's in the end zone.
Yeah, that was a long punt. Second time we've seen that into the end zone. Punt for UC Davis. Now Northern Colorado, 50 seconds on the clock. Northern Colorado has worked well in their 2-minute drill, but this one's going to be tough if they want to get down the field in that short of time, just 2 timeouts.
And even just getting down there to get a field goal, make it a 21-point game. Just some type of score here going into the half gives your team a little bit of momentum.
What are the chances we see a pass to Carver Cheeks at some point in the next 50 seconds?
Hopefully very high. I would love them to just take a shot to him downfield.
He's lined up on the far side of the field, top of your screen right now. Gibson's rolling out the other direction. Pass is completed. Not much happening there. Justin Gwynn able to take it. Stop the clock, though, by running out of bounds.
Sets up a 2nd and 5 now. UC Davis right now keeping the safety on top of Carver Cheeks as well. You can see here on the near side.
Going to target Gwynn once again, and Gwynn is making it happen up to the 50-yard line, and there's going to be a timeout by head coach Ed Lamb.
It looks like not yet.
No timeout. They're just going to
remember because it stops on the first down.
Correct. I was going to say it stops on the clock stops on a first down. So no timeout needed. Here's a shot. It's underthrown. The catch is made. Braden Monroe. What an answer for Northern Colorado. An absolute dime by Eric Gibson Jr. to Monroe. And some life for the Bears here.
And a great job by Monroe right here, readjusting to the ball flight. No offensive pass interference, just a simple swim move to come back to that ball, and then able to make the defenders miss downfield. What a drive there for UNC, exactly what they needed going into the half.
I said Northern Colorado plays well in the 2-minute drill. Well, they played even better in the 50-second drill. Just 36 seconds taken off the clock. And Northern Colorado marches all the way down the field and gets their first points of the game. Still a lot of room to make up here if you're the Bears, but that has to feel good going into the halftime.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect drive for UNC there. A couple of completions to Justin Gwynn, and then finds Braden Monroe for the touchdown. And I think they just knew Carver Cheeks, he was basically in double coverage that entire drive. Okay, hey, we've got other playmakers too. That's what they come out and do.
And Monroe getting his first look at some playing time here after he was injured in the last game at Nottingham Field, playing in front of his home crowd and getting a much-needed touchdown for the Bears. And I had mentioned it just a few moments ago. You know, the crowd felt like it was just completely out of it. The energy felt low, and that felt like that revitalized this Northern Colorado fan base here. I feel like they have a little bit of hope going into the second half.
That is a 3-play, 80-yard drive that took 26 seconds off of the clock.
The first official kickoff there by Jacob Willick.
Now for UC Davis, still one timeout left. It's one of those that could be content with their lead, just nail this one out, get to the half. Also might try to do something, run one play, see what they can make happen.
Yeah, Cam Chapa back at safety. Playing no doubles defense here.
Yeah, and they're just going to nail this one out. It appears.
Well, yes, still a lopsided score, 24-7. But if you're Northern Colorado, you got to feel like a little bit of hope has returned for the Bears. They will give the ball back to UC Davis to start the second half. But it's not over yet, folks. Aggies and the Bears still fighting. Second half with halftime highlights, stats, and more. Coming up next, you're watching college football on ESPN+. Welcome back to the beautiful sunny skies of Greeley, Colorado. 24-7, the Aggies up over the Bears. Christian Saez, Matt Gator on the call with you here on ESPN Plus. And Matt, it was a bit of a hectic first half. It felt like everything was going in favor of the Aggies. And Northern Colorado comes up with a miracle at the end. But, you know, this has been a relatively lopsided affair in the first half.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was really dominated by UC Davis. UNC, we saw, had that good first drive, missed the field goal attempt. And then from that point on, it's been all UC Davis. Had 4 straight scoring drives, and that was the big strip fumble they had on UNC quarterback Eric Gibson.
Yeah, and it felt like the momentum really started from there. They got the turnover and then punched in for a touchdown. Jordan Fisher with 2 touchdowns so far in this game. 3 touchdowns, I should say, so far in this game. And you know, they have backup quarterback Grant Harper in there, who has never started a game in 5 years of college football, and here he is leading his team to 24 points in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Harper's doing a great job. Like you just mentioned, 3 touchdowns on 192 yards passing. Had a great first half coming out here. 35 yards was the long passing attempt. But yeah, it's been a great first half by the UC Davis Aggies, but a good job by UNC responding there. Here's you see another one of those touchdown passes from Harper, but a great job by UNC responding at the end of that half, getting that long 80-yard drive that I know we're going to see coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it gave them a little bit of life and some hope, like I said, for the second half. Here was that pass and the great adjustment by Braden Monroe, who makes the catch and then is able to run it into the end zone. Like you said, 26 seconds, 3 plays, 86 yards, and a touchdown for Northern Colorado. Keeps them in this ballgame, 24-7 the score. We'll step aside, talk about some stats from the first half. That's coming up next right here on ESPN Plus. Welcome back, everyone. 24-7 the score. Northern Colorado trailing UC Davis here at home at Nottingham Field. Let's take a look at some of the stats from the first half. As the Bears trailing early, it was a field goal that actually got the scoring started for UC Davis, and then Northern Colorado didn't score until their last possession of the game. But UC Davis got out to a quick lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you can see on that screen right now 264 total yards for the Aggies, 188 for the Bears. UC Davis just doing a much better job, especially on the ground. That's where that biggest difference comes in, is 102 first-half rushing yards for the Aggies to only 40 first-half rushing yards for the Bears. This Bears defense really needs to figure it out in the second half. Have to find a way to shut down UC Davis, allow their offense to get back into it. They had a great last drive there at the end of the half. This first drive, UC Davis going to come out, get the ball to start. Would love to see UNC get a stop here.
Well, Grant Harper specifically, 12 of 18 with 192 yards. Eric Gibson, 19 of 26, 183 yards, but a lot of that chunk was the last play offensively for the Bears on that touchdown, that long touchdown to Braden Monroe. But the offense for UC Davis is executing on all fronts, and that's what's allowed them to not only get the lead, but really control this entire game. They're going to have the ball to start the second half. What's the message for Northern Colorado? How do they come out with new life in the second half to catch back up to UC Davis?
Yeah, you just got to come out and you really need to want it. Honestly, that's the biggest thing. And this thing, it looked like for a minute there, especially when UC Davis went up 24-0, could get lopsided there. So UNC has to come out really strong to start this second half. I almost want to say you need a stop on this first drive. You can't let UC Davis go down and score. You got force a quick punt, get the offense back out there, and if you can go out there and score on offense, that makes it a completely different game. You can kind of just flip the feel of the game versus UC Davis. If they come out, get a quick score, it's starting to feel like, hey, this might be too much for UNC to come back.
Well, we'll find out what the outcome of this second half is coming up in just a few moments. It's the Bears and the Aggies. Third quarter next on ESPN Plus. Third quarter coming up between the Bears and the Aggies. Both teams taking the field and getting ready to go. UC Davis still commanding a 24-7 lead, and they hope to build on that as they'll get the football back to start the third quarter. Christian Sias, Matt Gator here on the ESPN Plus call with you. And Matt, I want to talk a little bit about Grant Harper because we've talked about him before, but if you're just tuning in here to start the second half, Grant Harper taking his first collegiate start, at least here in conference play. He's a 5-year senior. He's taking over for Caden Pinnock, who did not travel with UC Davis, and he has exceeded expectations from what I think everyone coming into this game expected from a backup quarterback under these type of circumstances with a chance to tie a top Big Sky spot in conference play. This has been a big moment for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's started this first half 12 of 18 through the air, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So Grant Harper doing a great job offensively. Also has another 34 rushing yards in there. He's really just done a great job commanding this offense. Does not feel like a guy that, hey, this is his first start or hasn't had a lot of playing experience this year. He really has full control of this offense, and right now he's doing his best to make a name for himself out here for UC Davis.
Well, and really, we expected the rushing game to be a little more prominent for UC Davis, just given how good of a pass defense Northern Colorado has and also how good of a team offensively UC Davis is from a running perspective. You've got 2 great running backs that can get it done on the ground, but it's been a little bit slow offensively for UC Davis on the ground. Slow maybe is a little too negative of a word. We just haven't seen that be the focal point for them. Like you said, 3 passing touchdowns for Grant Harper, and Jordan Fisher is leading the team in rushing with 48 yards total on the ground, but we haven't seen a ton from this run offense from UC Davis yet, and their passing game's working.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny to say that we're surprised by maybe not the lack of productivity, but it just has felt a little bit slow, but they still had 102 first-half rushing yards. Like, that is a really good number. So I'll be curious to see what UC Davis comes out and does in this first drive and throughout this entire second half, especially having the lead they have right now, if they're going to try to really emphasize that run game, keep that clock moving, or if they're going to continue to sling it with Harper. Either way, been doing a great job offensively.
Well, Northern Colorado trying to get just their second home win here in Greeley in the last 2.5 years. The last 2 years, Northern Colorado had just 1 win, and it was on the road at Weber State. They did not get a win last year or the year prior to that. They have 1 win here at home in their home opener against Chatham State, an opponent from the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference here in state, or here, I should say, in conference. But this would be their first conference win at home in the Ed Lamb era. And it would be a huge one if they could pull it off. Not only would it be a comeback, but it would be an upset. A lot of work to do for the Bears.
As that kick just goes through, barely goes through the end zone. Almost bounced out of bounds, but worked out for the Bears.
Waiting to see if that flag was coming out from our angle. It's tough to tell, but yeah, no flag, so the ball stayed inside the pylon, and no penalty on the kickoff, just a touchback. Northern Colorado has played significantly better on the road this season. Again, that upset against Idaho, a ranked Idaho. Went to overtime against South Dakota. The crazy finish in Fort Collins with Colorado State. Here's going to be a run sweeping on the near side and a good start for Stacey Dobbins.
And first play of the half, going to pick up that first down, it looks like. Got exactly 10 yards.
Stacey Dobbins was actually the leading receiver. They've been spreading it out in the first half. One of the leading receivers, I should say, for UC Davis. Batu up there as well. In trouble was Grant Harper, and Harper had to throw it down to the turf as he got hit. Dominic Butts, he's made his presence known defensively for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, and Harper just had to throw that one away pretty quick. Had Dom Butts right in his face there. Here we get a look at the replay. Butts just did a good job of reading that one out.
Yeah, and Little was there as well. Brings up second down and 10. Jordan Fisher, the running back. Fisher had a run of 42 yards in the first half. He's also had a couple good receptions. Harper throws it straight across the middle. That's going to be enough for a first down. Nice completion made. And that'll move the chains. Pass to Zach Jones, the wide receiver.
Yeah, and they'll pick up 11 yards, and looks like going a little bit of tempo here again.
We saw tempo in the first quarter for UC Davis. They went quick down the field. Ended up having to settle in a field goal. Harper throws up high and over his target. He was going for Zach Jones once again.
Yeah, and it looked like might have been a miscommunication there between Harper and Jones. Jones cut that route a little bit more shallow than Harper was expecting.
Northern Colorado was trailing against Sac State last week, and it was a pick six that actually really turned the momentum back in their favor. It kept them in the game. Northern Colorado would love to have a turnover, especially right now. First drive of the third quarter. Going to be a handoff to Jordan Fisher, and Fisher pushes through for a couple yards. But a good defensive stop there by Northern Colorado, not allowing Fisher to get open in space.
And going to give him 5 there, so still a good job by Fisher after taking that contact to pick up a few more yards. Now, big third down here for the Bears. Love to find a way to force a punt. Harper making a check here at the line of scrimmage.
Fisher still in at back, tight end in motion. Harper to pass, the lefty gets it blocked and swatted down. And Northern Colorado, just what the doctor ordered for the Bears, gets the stop. They will force a punt on the first possession of this third quarter.
I want to say that was Brooks Miley that got the deflection on that one, and it was. Good job there by Brooks getting up and batting that pass down.
Luke Wooten back to return the kick. Two punts have gone into the end zone. And this one floats up in the air, and it's down at the 1 yard line. Great special teams coverage after losing 2 punts into the end zone. This time, a perfect punt by Dylan Morrow, able to pin him at the 1.
You know, and they are going to roll this one a touchback, because I believe when he first jumped, his foot was in the end zone already.
Wow.
It was a great effort all around, and you can see where he catches the ball right there at like the half-yard line. But prior to leaping, had 1 foot in the end zone. So
that's a huge
fortunate break there. That's a 19.5-yard break for the Bears, and also don't have to be backed up. Changes what your offense can do.
100%. That's a good momentum starter for Northern Colorado to get things started here. Their first drive of the second half, trips on the near side. It's going to be a pass to Carver Cheeks. He's got a blocker, and Carver Cheeks using his speed to get up for a first down. First play, first down.
Yeah, and picks up about 16 yards on that one, going right at Cheeks.
That was a good play design, too. Set up some blockers in front of Cheeks. You know Cheeks can break through a tackle or two, but if you give him blockers, you can pretty much guarantee the first down. You see Wooten in there blocking.
Taking a shot to him.
Yep, Gibson's looking at Cheeks once again, and it's overthrown. Cheeks didn't have a shot at it.
Yeah, a little overthrown. The crowd wants a flag on that one. There was some contact, but it was too overthrown, and Cheeks didn't do a good enough job trying to fight through the contact. I think if he fights through that a little bit more, you might get that call there, but that's a good no call.
So Cheeks will step off for a breather. Brings up second down and 10. Northern Colorado bunches up the near side of the field. Gibson's going to look far side, though, overthrows his tight end. That was Charlie Garrison was the target. Threw it over his head. Now he's looking at a third down and 10.
Yeah, that's a couple overthrows there from Gibson.
Garrison's a big boy, too. I mean, he can cover some ground if you give him a shot. But that one well over his head.
Yeah, and it's one of the, you'd rather throw it high with a little bit more loft, allow your receiver to come down with it. Neither had a chance on those last 2 plays.
Northern Colorado trying to avoid going 3 and out to start the second half. Gibson taking another shot, passing to Monroe. And Monroe going up for the catch, no good, incomplete. And that's going to bring up a 4th down for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, and they got that one first down early to Carver Cheeks on the first play coming out of half, but then after that, 3 straight incompletions.
And Cheeks only got 2 plays there before he had to come off the field. He was back on the field for that last play, but Monroe just too tight a coverage. And now a punt by both sides will give things back to the Aggies. End over end punt. Takes a nice bounce up to just around the 15-yard line, depending on where they spot it. And UC Davis will bring their offense back out, still with the lead, 24-7 the score. We'll be back after we take this quick break right here on ESPN+. The punt was placed at the 15-yard line for UC Davis. And they will have the football here. 2 punts to start the second half. We did see a very defensive-heavy first quarter before UC Davis really got out and started scoring in the second. They go to Vargas this time on the ground, and Vargas dragging a defender. Going to be short of the first down by a couple yards.
And a good play there by Vargas, just staying up on his feet, like you mentioned, dragging the defender a little bit. And when you can get those big gains on first down, sets up a 2nd and short, always gives your offense a chance to take a shot downfield.
Here's Vargas on the ground once again, and Vargas will bring it through the middle, up enough for a first down. Well, if you go back to UC Davis, their game against Southern Utah, the combination of Vargas and Fisher made history where both running backs rushed for over 100 yards in that game. Not something you see very often. And that's a combo that this team loves to utilize. We talked about them not using the run game too heavily, or at least favoring the running game in the first half. We've seen a couple more consecutive runs here, though, to start the second half. And here's Vargas spinning his way through, changing directions. Able to salvage at least maybe 3 or 4 yards there before he goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great spin move there at the point of contact, too, by Vargas.
Yards after contact always at a premium with UC Davis.
Right there.
Yeah, good move.
Spin move, then gets out of a hit.
So now that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Defense has had to work for it here for Northern Colorado. All by himself was Grant, and Grant Harper lost it up the middle.
Yeah, and just a little bit of an overthrow there from Harper.
Yeah, he was looking for Batu.
Yep. Now sets up another 3rd down and 6 here. Again, UNC got to get off the field here, then just need their offense to do something. Maybe play like there's only 50 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, 50-second plays from here on out for the Bears. Their only touchdown came with just 26 seconds remaining in the first half. Harper, plenty of time. Up the middle, overthrows his intended target. He was looking for Zach Jones. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and Northern Colorado will get the chance to go back on offense.
Yeah, he just let him a little bit too much there, and looked like Jones might have lost his footing also. That's the stop that UNC needed. They've had 2 stops now, forced 2 punts in these first 2 drives of the half for UC Davis.
Well, and look, this is going to give Wooten a little more room to work with on the punt. Every single punt that UNC's had to receive, it's been up against the end zone. Wooten's going to have to back up a little bit. He calls for a fair catch, and he makes the catch successfully. And that's where Northern Colorado will start with the football, get another chance on offense. When we come back, the score 24-7, Aggies over the Bears. Couple consecutive punts to start this game for both sides. Defense reigning supreme here in the third quarter. Just under 10 minutes to go. Third quarter at Nottingham Field in Greeley, Colorado. Bears and the Aggies. Northern Colorado with the football here. Brandon Johnson, who had a really good drive first time he saw the football, hits it for a couple yards. Johnson, I'm surprised they didn't go back to him. I mean, his first couple plays of this game were very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. He was making guys miss. Found some space there in the defense. I'd like to see him getting the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, he had a 14-yard carry at 25 yards in just 2 carries. They're going to go with Johnson once again, and Johnson cutting into a tackle, but gets through a first down.
That's a good run right there. Just being a little bit shifty there.
So quickly, 2 carries for a first down for Brandon Johnson. See Carver Cheeks there on the bottom right corner of your screen. He's matched up one-on-one right now. See if Gibson wants to take a shot towards him. Instead, they go with the screen pass to Monroe, and Monroe's going to pick up about 7 yards, maybe 8 yards, depending on where they spot him. And this is what Northern Colorado has done this game. Aside from a couple 3-and-outs, when they've gotten their offense moving forward, it's been just chunk plays. They haven't taken any huge shots aside from the touchdown, but just taking some of these chunk yardages, picking up first down every couple plays, and moving down the field.
And like you mentioned, on that last play when they had Cheeks by himself on the field side, so much space. Wish that they would even just check that at the line of scrimmage. Hey, get him a go ball. Some type of 50-50 ball. Let him make a play.
He's got the same coverage set up right here. And Gibson's got a lot of green to work with. They go with Matthias Price this time. Price trying to use a blocker, but he gets tackled by the ankles.
I think that's one of those where I get what Price is trying to do, but once he's got that block set up in front of him, you just got to take off and go.
Especially with 2 yards to the first down. I mean, you theoretically, you dive around that block and you got the first down. Now it sets up third down and short. Brandon Johnson back in. Quick pass to Monroe. Monroe hit right near that line. They're going to see if they give him enough for the first down. It looks like they are. They're going to say forward progress took him past the 45.
Yeah, I mean, I think right where he caught that was just past that line. Yeah, that's a good spot. And another first down for the Bears.
And that's what they teach you, especially on those cut routes. I mean, you got to just get to that first down marker and cut right back to it. Or get past the first down marker, I should say, cut right back to it. Well executed. This time Cheeks goes out far side, stacked up on the end. Trouble for Gibson. Jr. has to throw it away. He was being trailed by Jacob Syke, one of the best tackles in the country.
And a good job there by Gibson, just feeling the pressure that time, having the awareness to just, hey, throw it away. Save yourself from taking the sack or even worse, a fumble and turnover again.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. Eric Gibson got a blindside hit that forced a fumble. Ended up leading to the first touchdown of the game. Gibson through the middle. Nice pickup.
Going to set up a 3rd and 7 now here for UNC. It was Justin Gwynn, the receiver on that last play.
Another big third down coming up. Monroe on the near side. Justin Gwynn with him. You've got Carver Cheeks up top. All by himself, Eric Gibson Jr. Gibson under pressure. Down he goes. Sam Goligoski making the tackle. And now 4th down coming up and decision time for Coach Lamb. I think they're going to choose to punt this.
Yeah, I think they might have thought about going for it with where they're at, but after losing 5 yards on that sack, 4th and 11, I think you got to punt, especially from your own side of the field.
Yeah, and probably the right decision, like you said, but that's a tough one. Big stop by UC Davis. It felt like Northern Colorado was moving in the right direction offensively, and they just couldn't quite get past this UC Davis defense. Another punt. A lofty punt once again. And fielded by Riddick.
And a good job there by Riddick, just holding on to that one. Staring straight into the sun.
Well, and that will bring up a 1st down and 10 for UC Davis when we come back. You're watching college football right here on ESPN+. Just 5 minutes and change left in the 3rd quarter. Another punt for Northern Colorado. And you and I were talking about it during the break, Matt. You know, I mean, if you feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on the defense for Northern Colorado because time and time again they have to come up with the stop, trailing 24-7. Offense just has not gotten it done here in the second half.
No, absolutely. And these last 3 drives for UNC on defense, one of them was before the half. They forced 3 punts. So this defense starting to pick it up for UNC, but again, this UC Davis offense, we saw what they were able to do in that first half. Do not want to get them started again.
Well, Grant Harper took a shot at the end of that play.
A little slow getting up.
He was a little slow getting up. Remember, he is the backup quarterback. Caden Pinnock did not travel with the team. The starting quarterback, redshirt freshman for UC Davis. Harper's still in the game, though. Seems to be okay. And this time it's Harper. He's going to put his legs to the test. And Harper tackled up near the 20-yard line. Going to be short of a 1st down, but it'll set up 3rd down and manageable.
About 3rd and 2 now.
Very
here
manageable
for UC Davis. Would expect them to keep the ball on the ground here. Feel like they've done a little bit better running the ball in the second half than through the air.
They brought in their bigger of the 2 running backs, Carter Vargas. The combination of him and Fisher. Fisher, known for his speed and agility. Vargas, more of a bully. If they opt to go that way, they are going to go that way. And Vargas pushing through the middle, spinning his way across, and gets the 1st down. Nice move by Carter Vargas.
And by the time that ball was snapped, they had 3 backs in the backfield. Able to do some misdirection there. Vargas with the easy pickup of the 1st down.
Frankie Morales made the tackle, and that was a good tackle by Morales because if Vargas had gotten past him, he might have been off to the races. Now Jordan Fisher coming back in. Pass play up the middle, and it is incomplete. Hung up there in the air. Cam Chapa felt like he had a beat on it, and it just got deflected. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where Chapa was maybe hoping that the other defender doesn't get a piece of it because then he's coming down with the pick probably. It was actually the receiver that got the initial.
Close play. That would have been devastating for UC Davis. Northern Colorado, I had mentioned earlier, it was the pick 6 against Sacramento State that brought them some new life, kept them in that game. Got the snap off in time. And that's going to be an interception. There's the interception, and straight down into the end zone. Pick 6, UNC. Sione Tuha with the interception and into the end zone.
And just a great play. He was reading Harper's eyes there. Able to come up with the pick and then just tight ropes down the sideline, able to get into the end zone. There you can see him on the screen right there. Just cuts in front of that one. And he's thinking 6 the whole way.
He was close to stepping out of bounds. But was able to tiptoe his way into the end zone. Sione Tua. And it's going to be, they're actually going to change the call on the field. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 9-yard line. I got to say, from the replay that we had, although it was going pretty fast, it did look like he was very close.
Yeah, definitely was close a couple of times. I'm sure this is where replay assist came in, helped him out. See if we can see it here. Yep, clearly out of bounds. Yeah, he actually gets a couple steps out of bounds, another one in the 6 and the 3.
Yeah, that's just a few.
Just a few. Three different times he was out of bounds there.
They got the right call. Changed it out at the 9-yard line. Still a huge turnover. Northern Colorado has to capitalize here. Brandon Johnson on the ground. Johnson splitting through up to the 2-yard line. He crab crawled his way through, but not able to get to the end zone. Going to be short at the 2.
And right now you've got 3 downs to get 2 yards if you're UNC. There's no field goals here barring a big setback. Penalty of some kind, but.
I mean, at some point, if Northern Colorado wants to come all the way back, they're going to have to get a field goal eventually to tie it. But you're right. They're looking touchdown all the way. Johnson's still the running back. Eric Gibson Jr., the quarterback, snapped, handed off, and that's an easy touchdown. It only took 2 plays, but Northern Colorado coming off of the interception by Tua, they punch it in for the touchdown, and it's 24-14. We got ourselves a 10-point game.
Yeah, just a good job up front there by UNC. Opening up a gap for Brandon Johnson, able to get the 2 yards necessary. Trying to make this one a 10-point game.
And that's no good. That extra point is no good. And now, at some point, Northern Colorado is going to be forced to have to get a 2-point conversion. But look at this touchdown by Brandon Johnson that set up everything. The interception before that by Sione Tua. And Northern Colorado feels like they're not out of it just yet.
No, not at all, especially with the way their defense has been playing these last few drives. Forced a couple of punts and gotten a pick on their first 3 defensive drives on this half. See if they can keep it going here.
Well, and UC Davis playing with their backup quarterback right now. Yes, you've got a 11-point lead, but the way Northern Colorado has shown that they can play, especially if they're going in a bit of a hurry-up offense, UC Davis does not want to allow Northern Colorado to come back into this game.
And right now, UNC has hope. They've got hope, and they've got a little bit of belief in themselves now. Still plenty of time left in the game. Just under 3 minutes in the 3rd.
Leo Blumentritt to send this away. And that's going to be a touchback to start for UC Davis. So now we get to see if the senior veteran Grant Harper, after throwing an interception that led to a touchdown, if he can bounce back and lead his team to victory here. Under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
And I think there's definitely the argument that every single drive is important, but up to this point in the game, this is the most important drive of the game. Both of these teams going to be feeling the pressure on this drive. UC Davis not wanting to punt or turn the ball over again. And for the Bears, hey, get the ball right back to your offense. Go put some more points up.
Another pass. This time cutting across the middle is Stacey Dobbins, and Dobbins still making moves. Good play by Dobbins. 9 yards on the catch.
Yeah, and when he spun back, was a little bit surprised to see that. That ball was hanging there a little bit loose, it might have looked like. Good job able to hold on to it, though.
UC Davis wanted to hurry up on that one. Jordan Fisher cutting through the middle. I'm curious to see if their game plan shifts a little bit here. Now, obviously, Grant Harper has shown that he's plenty capable of making great passes. Only one mistake truly on that interception. But their run game has really worked. on some of their drives here to start this second half. Obviously, everything's ended in a punt, but Jordan Fisher and Carter Vargas have done a very good job picking up some positive yards. See if they continue to pound the run game. Harper directing traffic. Tight end in motion. Harper throws it up and incomplete, overthrew his target. Good coverage there as well. Cam Chapa was a defensive back.
Yeah, that one was intended for Tyler Hennessy. A lot of contact there from Chapa, but Hennessy never looked back for the ball. So again, a good job by the refs letting him play.
Second down, ball at the 43-yard line. Hand off to Fisher, and Fisher so quick, able to just burst forward for about 6 yards. That's the beauty of having a running back like Fisher. Before you can even get your feet set defensively, it feels like he's already about 4 or 5 yards into his run. Big third down coming up here for the Aggies.
0 of 3 on third down so far this half. And a false start now, going to make it a 3rd and 10.
Well, the Aggies have played a really clean game. They have not had a lot of penalties, or not had a lot of challenges with penalties so far, and that one's costly. Sets up 3rd and 11 at the 42-yard line. Bears bring pressure. Another penalty flag comes out.
They're calling a false start on the right tackle.
Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, and that's one of their right tackle. It's been false starting. I don't want to say false starting. He's been going a little bit early the entire game, and it's one of those. As an offensive lineman, I'm a former one myself. If you can get away with just a little bit, you might as well. But you can see he's just a fraction early there. And that's when the pass was incomplete, but because the false start was before the play, technically the play was blown dead.
So they'll do it all over again with a 3rd and 16. Bears fans now making some noise. It's going to be a carry by Carter Vargas, and Vargas gets past the initial line of scrimmage, but not a lot more than that, and that will turn things over to the special teams unit.
You would assume.
Allegedly.
Going to run this one out the rest of the quarter, though.
Well, this second half sure has gotten interesting. Northern Colorado punches a touchdown in, missed the extra point, but it's 24-13, and they're going to get the football back to start the 4th quarter. More college football coming up from Greeley after this. Coming up here for UC Davis, who is now 0-4 on 3rd down plays to start this second half. Northern Colorado sends Luke Wooten back to return the punt. But UC Davis finding a little bit of a battle on their hands against the Bears. Northern Colorado has struggled in these close games to just get that extra push that they've needed for victory. Again, I've said it before, but all of their losses this season have come by a touchdown or less. Gone into overtime a couple times so far this season, and this is a team that has rallied and stayed in every single game that they've played in. The issue for Northern Colorado, and we mentioned it earlier is that they're a young team that just it almost feels like they haven't quite learned how to get the victory. And I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but it's just that last step needed to go get back into a game like this. We'll see if Northern Colorado can come away with that. Flag coming in through the middle.
More than likely going to be a holding against UNC just with where that flag came in from. The ball went out of bounds at the 6, so we might be looking at UNC starting from their own 3.
Yep. Northern Colorado starting at their own 3.
And no time like the present for a 97-yard drive if you're UNC. Oh, yeah, and there you can see that hold right there at the, looks like the 47-yard line. Just kind of threw him down. Ref immediately saw it. Again, good call. Do you have to say, I feel like these refs have been pretty good throughout this game.
Yeah, give them credit. Seems like it's been a clean called game. No arguments on our end. There's Matthias Price, and Price snaking his way on the near side.
It's actually Justin Gwynn.
Oh, it was Gwynn. You're right.
Was in the backfield
Good
there.
Call. Justin Gwynn, who made an impact in the first half, getting a chance to get the carry here.
And a little entry. He's one of those players that does not wear gloves. Anytime you see someone without gloves, it's you got to catch everything that comes your way. Always got to hold on to the ball.
3 carries for 32 yards for Justin Gwynn. Another handoff. Tackled forward. He'll pick up about 3 yards.
Bears right now down 11.
Yeah, thanks to the missed extra point that would have been down 10.
You also got to keep in mind the missed field goal we had earlier.
Yep.
4 points potentially could be up on the board. Not there right now.
And that run went nowhere. And now a 3rd down coming up for Northern Colorado.
The Bears bringing in Rocco Traore in the backfield. First we've seen of him, I believe.
Yeah, he had 1 catch, 1 receiving catch in the first half. It's going to be a pass. Gibson goes high and no one in the area.
Again, just, yeah, it looks maybe well overthrown, but just no one around on that one.
Yeah, and Cheeks was pretty frustrated. I think Cheeks was pretty frustrated. I think he had a little bit of separation, and Gibson just didn't recognize it. And that's the tough part, too. I mean, you've got some playmakers, your wide receiver core. I mean, you're one of the best passing teams in the Big Sky. If you're going to miss on a pass, at least make it competitive, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. Give your receiver a chance to make a play. That pass was nowhere near anyone. Bit of an awkward grab there on special teams by Carter Vargas.
Yeah, and that's one of those, going back to what you were saying earlier at the start of the quarter, that this UNC team still needs to learn how to win. That's one of those plays that you would love to have back. Can't be giving up those easy ones.
A tough break for Northern Colorado. UC Davis will have the football when we come back. Still 24-13 here in Greeley. UC Davis football here. After the punt by Northern Colorado. UNC was backed up against their own goal line, but failed to really convert beyond just the initial run. And to give the football back to UC Davis, and now Grant Harper with another shot offensively here.
UNC bringing the pressure off that right side.
Carter Vargas, the carry, and the tackle was made. About 5 yards, maybe 6 yards on the carry for Carter Vargas.
If I'm UC Davis, if you can keep running the ball like that, no reason not to keep it on the ground.
And you're here in the 4th quarter.
Burn about 30 seconds per play. And
yep. You know it's a 2-score game. Northern Colorado would need a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Hit as he throws is Harper, and it's picked off by Cam Chapa. Cam Chapa turns it over, and the Bears have new life.
And again, that's what you needed right there if you're the Bears. Get another turnover, save some time on the clock also. Good play. Oh, and that's got to be a penalty now.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a tangle on both sides. I think the officials are, as of now, choosing not to call a penalty. There was some pushing and shoving on the sidelines, but it was kind of both sides.
I realized the replay was going, so for the viewers at home, unable to see that one.
And that was where it happened. They looked like one of the UC Davis players got kind of caught up on the sideline, and he was face-to-face with some of the UNC players, and the official was in the middle of it. And all said and done, no penalties on the play. Either way, turnover, Northern Colorado football. Here's a quick pass, and catch is made. Really about a yard gain there.
Maybe two, yeah.
Maybe two.
Again, that one to Rocco Traore.
Yeah, and a good job by Rocco Traore holding on to that football. He took a hit immediately after he caught that pass. Carver Cheeks checking in to the huddle there. Cheeks was a little frustrated at the end of the third down that set up the punt, the possession prior. Gibson looking far side, has a man. That's Braden Monroe. Monroe has one of the 2 touchdowns in this game.
UNC's starting to go a little bit quicker again, and again right now Cheeks completely by himself on the near side of the field here.
He's just looking far side, and he hits Garrison up the middle, and Garrison loses the ball on the ground. Rocco Traore was there, but did UC Davis jump on top of it?
Watching it live, it looked like Traore had a chance to get on it, but both teams are pointing their way. Yeah, and Traore's coming up with that ball.
I can't distinguish which arms are which. Where's the official signal?
I don't see how they would rule this against UNC here. Traore just came up holding the ball. UNC had the ball. I just don't think UC Davis was ever able to establish possession of it for this to go their way. But the fact that they're huddling tells me they might be thinking otherwise.
It was Charlie Garrison, I believe, who made the catch. And the fumble. See what the official call is. So it stays in the possession of Northern Colorado. That's a huge break.
Yeah, absolutely. And
is not only to get the first down, but keep the ball.
And good awareness there by Traore to jump on top of that one.
Yeah, everyone holding their breath here on the near side of the field, the home bleachers. Rocco Traore still the running back. It's Gibson to pass. Gibson up the middle. And it's Garrison once again. He fumbled that a little bit, or he bobbled that, I should say, a little bit. But able to hold on to it. He's got to be careful, though, especially with a team as good as UC Davis. They force a lot of fumbles. That is a part of their game that they're actually known for.
And right now, Gibson just doing a great job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, finding the open receiver. Haven't really taken any shots this drive, but just moving quick.
Garrison, the lone tight end, set up on the far side of the field. Rocco Traore sweeps across, and it's going to be Traore. And Rocco makes a move, cutting back the other way. Flags flying left and right. But before the flags, it will be a first down. We'll see what the penalty is. And it's going to be against Northern Colorado.
Yep.
So Charlie Garrison, who had the fumble that was recovered by Rocco Traore just moments ago, now gets a pass interference that negates the first down play by Rocco Traore. Not the best possession and drive here for Charlie Garrison.
And that's a tough one there for Charlie. That's a designed pass to Traore there. So Garrison is just trying to get downfield and start blocking. Was maybe just a second too early before Traore had the ball.
And that pushes them all the way back to the 32-yard line. Ball would have been at the 4. Pass across. That's a nice catch and completion. And Luke Wooten. You see the fan, or you can hear the fans chanting his last name. Northern Colorado, which is these quick passes.
That's what's working well for him right now. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it if you're UNC.
And the run game just hasn't been that effective here in the second half. Or should I say it hasn't been as consistent in the second half. Traore the back. It's going to be a little screen pass. Now Rocco cuts inside and still on his feet up near the 13-yard line. Set up a third down and manageable here. Got to get to about the 7-yard line, maybe 8-yard line.
Hey, it's a good job by UNC. After being in a 1st and 25, set up 3rd and 5 now.
In likely 2-down territory.
I would agree with you.
I mean, a field goal does help you at this point. Again, if you're Northern Colorado, you're trailing by 11, but you want to get the hard part out of the way quick, especially needing that 2-point conversion. Brandon Johnson back into the game, and it's going to be Johnson. And Johnson trying to find some blockers. He's going to maybe get about a yard out of that carry.
And that play call tells me that they're going for it on 4th down, more than likely. No, they are going to bring out the field goal unit. Interesting play call there on 3rd down then if you're not planning to also go for it on 4th.
Jacob Willig will step in to attempt the field goal. He has missed a field goal and missed an extra point.
1 for 3 on his kicks today. It's an important one here.
And the kick is up and good. Big one for Jacob Willig. And they knock out the field goal to make it 24-16. The Bears still in this one. UC Davis and Northern Colorado matching up here on the road in Greeley. We step aside for a quick break. Seven minutes and 50 seconds left in regulation between the Bears and the Aggies. Northern Colorado, after executing on their field goal, the first made field goal of the game, they will kick things over to UC Davis, and now it's up to Northern Colorado's defense if they want to stay in this game. Got to come up with another stop here. UC Davis has not scored in the second half after scoring 24 points, 4 consecutive drives, scoring drives for UC Davis in the first half. They have been held to a shutout in the second half.
Yeah, and just to take a quick look at UC Davis's drives so far in this second half, they've had 6 plays for 26 yards, punt, 5 plays, 16 yards, punt, 5 plays, 14 yards, the interception, the first one, 5 plays, 20 yards, punt, and then the most recent drive, 2 plays for 5 yards with another interception. So this Bears defense has done a great job in this second half, but got to do it one more time here. Find a way to get the ball back, give your offense a chance. Preferably with some favorable field position.
Bears trailing by 8. And Grant Harper, nowhere to go there. Maybe a gain of about 1.
Yeah, and just a design QB run there for Harper. Harper's got 44 rushing yards on the game. Keep in mind he had 24 in that first drive. So only 20 since then.
Defensively, though, Northern Colorado has made a lot of adjustments coming out into the second half. Obviously, the 2 interceptions pay dividends, but even on the run game, they've held UC Davis. And Jordan Fisher, short of a first down. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
UC Davis 3 of 9 on 3rd downs, going quick.
Quick snap, Fisher backstepping and tackled from behind. He's going to get enough for a first down, but a nice tackle made by Northern Colorado. Fisher looked like he might have some space if he could have gotten around that tackle.
Yeah, he would have had a lot of space, but a good job by Fisher. No, that run's supposed to be more to the inside, but it was just completely jumbled up. And great job by him getting around the edge.
I agree with you. I mean, I think if he had tried to punch that through the middle like it was called, he would not have been able to get the first down. Well, they pick up enough yards for the first down. Vargas this time the running back. And Carter Vargas tackled at the 40-yard line.
Able to pick up 5, though. And right now, that's one of the things UC Davis is doing best, running the ball on first down. Picking up 4, 5, 6 yards a pop.
When you see that the game plan has shifted a little bit for UC Davis, they're sticking with their ground game more. Back-to-back drives, you have 2 interceptions for Grant Harper. Now you've also had some very good passes. You've had some great completed passes by Harper earlier in the game, so you know he could throw it. It's not like they're going to completely take that away from him, but choosing to go on the ground, play it safe a little bit here with the lead. Another third down coming up, 3rd and 2.
Another big play here. I'll say a little surprised with how quick UC Davis is going, just in terms of the clock situation.
Yeah. 3 receivers set up on the near side. It's going to be a handoff to Carter Vargas. Vargas in trouble. Can he push his way forward? Yes, he did. He got hit behind the line of scrimmage, and with the help of some of his returning linemen, he pushed his way up for a first down.
Yeah, really good job by that line, just continuing to push. Vargas keeps his feet moving, able to get that extra yard necessary for the first down. And be curious to see if UC Davis, now that there's under 5 minutes left, starts to slow it down a little bit, because they've been routinely snapping the ball still with 15 to 20 seconds left on that play clock. Not going to be the case here this time.
First pass play of this drive is completed off on the edge. That's Batu Jr. He goes out of bounds, so it'll stop the clock. Actually, no, they said he was tackled inbounds, so the clock continues to tick down. 4 minutes and change now. And now, like you said, they're going to slow things down just a little bit.
Yeah, starting to see them huddle up a little more.
Still snap it. It's about 15 seconds on the clock. Now they'll snap it, give it off to Fisher, and Fisher's off to the races. Up to the 30-yard line. That is a huge pickup for Jordan Fisher.
Absolutely, a huge play there by them, because that brings them into field goal range now as well. At least real close to it.
Northern Colorado trailing by 8 right now. Not only would they need a touchdown, they would obviously need the 2-point conversion, but any score by UC Davis at this point feels like a dagger. Fisher this time tackled behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to actually say he was at the line of scrimmage, so no loss, no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And for UNC, got to be looking to punch that ball out. Doing whatever you can. I'd expect after this play, as long as they don't get a big chunk play, to see UNC's first time out. Try and save some of that clock. Should be delay a game.
And there it is.
Actually going to be a timeout, I believe. Yeah, UC Davis coach was halfway between the numbers and the sideline calling a timeout.
So a timeout called on the field. 24-16. UC Davis trying to score and potentially seal the deal on another win. Northern Colorado trying to come up with a stop. We'll finish this thing up when we come back. 2.5 minutes. Northern Colorado down by 8. UC Davis with the football, and You got to feel like if they can find a way to score here, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, it might just seal the deal. UC Davis now with 2 timeouts. Northern Colorado still with their full slate of timeouts. Bears fans recognizing the gravity of this situation here, starting to make some noise on the sideline. Hand off to Carter, and Carter, a good pickup there on 2nd down. Now another 3rd down. Here comes a timeout for Northern Colorado, their first charged timeout of the second half.
And definitely did not want to give up 7 yards there, make this a much more manageable 3rd down, but still Coach Lamb electing to use the timeout.
Well, again, you know, I mean, a field goal, it doesn't feel like it seals the deal completely, but it's got to be pretty close.
Really hard.
Yeah. I mean, you're already trailing by an 8-point touchdown. If UC Davis even is able to execute a field goal, I mean, you've got to find a way to not only get down the field, score a touchdown, but then get an onside kick.
Yep.
And get in field goal range. It's just a lot of things have to go right at that point. And we are looking well within UC Davis field goal range.
Yeah, so right now the Bears need, first and foremost, the stop here on 3rd down. And then either a missed field goal or got to find a way to get a block. But again, first things first, this 3rd down play. No, they're more than likely keeping the ball on the ground.
Carter the back.
Can't jump.
Tight end in motion. It's Carter once again. And Carter stays on his feet. That's going to be a 1st down. And that is a huge, huge 1st down for Carter Vargas, who was almost tackled behind the line to gain, but was able to tiptoe his way through.
And that's going to roll the clock to the 2-minute warning now. 2-minute timeout, I should say.
And now if you're Northern Colorado, you're going from, you're going from worst case scenario to worst case scenario. Now you got to get a punch out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find a way to get a turnover.
Yep.
2-minute timeout on the field. We'll step aside one last time when we come back. Final 2 minutes of action between the Bears and the Aggies. Got a good one here in Greeley. We'll finish it up after this. Colorado trailing by 8. Their backs against the wall. UC Davis can just run out the clock at this point or kick a field goal or get a touchdown. Really, the ball is in their court. They are in the driver's seat. Jordan Fisher back into the game and running back. It's still backup quarterback Grant Harper. There's Fisher. If Harper finishes this game, it will be his first ever complete game that he's started and finished at the collegiate level. 5-year senior. Timeout by Northern Colorado out there.
Yeah, and a good moment for him as well. Been grinding through it all these years to finally come out here, get the start in this game. Looking like they're more than likely going to walk away with the win.
And Northern Colorado made him work for it. 2 interceptions in the second half. And it felt like UNC, had a chance. And don't get me wrong, this has been the story all season for Northern Colorado. You stay within every single game. You never fall too far behind. The team comes back when they're down. They had a pick 6 that got them back in the game against Sacramento State last week. This time it's 2 interceptions and their defense putting up a shutout in the second half. But in the end, again, it's just learning to finish. Those penalties by Charles Garrison in that last drive, that penalty, I should say, and I don't mean to put that all on him specifically, but that was a tough one. Flag coming in. It's Carter Vargas able to pick up a couple yards there, but we'll see what the penalty was.
Would have been a 1st down, but looking like this one might come back.
Wow.
So big break there for UNC.
Yeah.
Blindside block called on Samuel Batu. Then the ref mentioned by rule the play will not start until the snap.
So now they're going to
targeting also.
Take a look at this for targeting.
See if we can get another look at it. There you can see Batu towards the end of the play.
Yeah, but this is crucial because this backs up UC Davis.
Makes that field goal just that much harder.
It does. It keeps things interesting. Again, I mean, it's still second down. UC Davis still has time. Northern Colorado only has one timeout, but it keeps the possibility alive. Here, let's take a look right now.
The flag was already out before that, so it's not that play they're looking at. It was earlier on.
It might have been just before that, but either way, it's going to be a personal foul on Batu. They're just determining whether or not it was targeting, which is a different distinction.
And also now
at the collegiate level,
that they're looking at 2nd and 20, you still want to keep the ball on the ground to force UNC to use their last timeout and let the clock run, but hard to pick up 20 yards on 2 plays.
Take one more look at it here while the officials are still convening.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yep.
So agree with the blindside block. I don't know if it's the only targeting aspect of it is that Batu came in leading with his head, leading with the crown of the helmet there.
Yeah, so you see it on the left side of your screen going up against number 7 for Northern Colorado. Yeah, right there.
Right there, yeah. That head is down, but straight into the shoulder. Doesn't really make contact with the head. So I'll be curious to see what the refs come up with here.
The distinction is you have to be leading with the crown of your helmet. But we'll see if the officials determine whether or not that was the crown of the helmet or if it was a little bit lower.
And a big shout out for the replay there on that one, giving us the great look of it. The refs are done with their review. They're just talking it over now.
So an ejection on the targeting call.
Not often a wide receiver gets called with targeting.
Yeah, by Batu.
Fortunately for them, only 1:50 left in the game, but he will miss the first half of next week as well. That's something that's
crucial.
big for them.
Yeah.
Because next week they have Idaho State.
Yeah, coming up on the schedule, Idaho State for UC Davis. Northern Colorado has a big task and a big test next week as well, facing Montana here in Greeley. The upcoming schedule for these two teams doesn't get much easier. And without Batu in the first half, that's a big loss. So 2nd down and 20. Still in field goal range, but on the fringe. Now Grant Harper. And that's going to be a tackle for a loss.
UNC going to use their last timeout right there. Big TFL from the defense.
It's not over yet, folks.
Sets up a 3rd and 24 now.
And now if you're UC Davis, you're looking for field goal range. And not field goal range specifically, but you're looking to just help your kicker out a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be about a 47-yard field goal from here.
And his his career long, I should say, is 46. So it's not impossible, but it's, like I said, keeping it interesting.
And now here's the question. Does UNC or UC Davis run the ball here knowing that, hey, no matter what happens, we're going to take 40 more seconds off the clock, so that'll bring it down to about a minute after the play prior to the field goal? Or do they try to pass, pick up some more yardage, and maybe catch UNC off guard?
I think you got to run it. I mean, because if incomplete pass, sets you back up at like you said, a 47-yard field goal, if you run it, you can at least pick up a couple more. And you can take time off the clock. If you pass it, and let's just say it's an incomplete pass, not only are you still kicking from the 35-yard line or so, but you're stopping the clock.
Yeah, unless they've got a high percentage pass they know they want to go to. Something quick to pick up a few yards.
Yeah, I think they have to keep it on the ground.
For UNC, got to stay disciplined. Don't want to jump either.
Full line for UC Davis. Vargas finds an edge. Going to pick up a few. It's a good run by Carter Vargas.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
tackled inbounds.
Got about 6 there.
And that's going to be enough to make a much safer kick. Hunter Ridley.
And I'd expect them to let this run all the way down and then use their second timeout if I'm UC Davis.
Yeah, and Hunter Ridley will be on to likely attempt the field goal that would probably put this game away.
Right now they're keeping their offense out there, but they're not doing anything, just going to call the timeout.
Well, some mistakes, some penalties for UC Davis and a Northern Colorado defense that has been very effective in the second half have allowed this game to stay within striking distance for Northern Colorado. But if UC Davis can punch a field goal through the uprights right here, got to feel pretty good about the way this thing will finish.
Here's what I'll set up. At the end of the first half, UNC had about 50 seconds left. Went down, had an 80-yard drive. If UC Davis misses this kick, there's 55 seconds right now. There will probably be about 50 to 51 seconds left on the clock for UNC to go almost 80 yards again. It would be 77 yards in the same amount of time with no timeouts.
Well, and Braden Monroe, his catch that sealed the deal to get the touchdown, start of at the end of the first half, was the only touchdown in the first half. Now, if you're Northern Colorado, you're just hoping.
It'd be 40 yards, 40 and a half yards from where he's setting up.
It'd be a 40-yard kick for Hunter Ridley. Ridley, plenty of distance on the kick. And it is good. Hunter Ridley puts it through the uprights and tags the exclamation mark on the special teams unit.
And a good job there by Hunter Ridley. High pressure kick coming in, able to drill that one down the middle.
I got to say, I know his career long is 46,
Plenty
but
of leg on it.
He had that one from 50 plus. That was an absolute boot of a kick by Hunter Ridley, and will likely seal the deal for UC Davis. 50 seconds remaining. Northern Colorado trailing by 2 scores now. It would take an absolute miracle. Probably a touchdown, probably in about the same amount of time you would think from that touchdown that we saw in the first half, maybe about 20 to 26 seconds.
Yep.
And then you would need an immediate onside kick that would then set up a field goal.
You need a lot to go right.
You would need a lot to go right.
It's one of those, you could even go in the reverse order if you get into field goal range, kick the field goal first.
Yeah. Take less time off the clock.
Yeah, less time off the clock, go for the onside kick, because then you can always throw a Hail Mary from not anywhere, but anywhere that you would recover an onside kick from. But an uphill battle just got even harder.
Squib kick. It is fielded. Bit of a bobble there towards the middle. And here comes the run. Tackled there. That was a good return. Set up good field position for the most part for Justin Gwynn.
And you would think UC Davis, they're going to have 2 people on top of Carver Cheeks right here. Like, hey, don't let him beat you deep.
But that's exactly what happened last time. You double-teamed Carver Cheeks at the end of the first half, and it left Braden Monroe in a one-on-one situation that he won the battle on.
Looks like they're going to do it again. They've got a safety there to help.
Gibson is looking towards Cheeks, and Gibson is wrapped up from behind. The sack by Jacob Syke. Northern Colorado quickly getting back to the line of scrimmage. 27 seconds left in regulation. Justin Gwynn catches it. And
that's going to do it.
Should do it.
Might get one more playoff, but
Northern Colorado fought till the bitter end. But in the end, UC Davis Just too strong of a first half. And they will walk away victorious. A very important win for the Aggies, as they will now sit atop, tied the Big Sky Conference.
4-0 in the conference now. And for the Bears, their first loss of the season by more than one score.
Yep. And credit to Northern Colorado's defense. They held UC Davis to just 3 points total in the second half. There was an interception, and that will do it for this game. UC Davis holds on and comes out victorious on the road in Greeley. What a battle between these two teams. Northern Colorado kept it interesting, but with their backup quarterback, Grant Harper, replacing Caden Pinnock, who was not able to play today, the Aggies come on the road into farm country out here in Greeley, and they get the victory with a final score of 27-16. What a game.
Yeah, and just what a first half, especially from Grant Harper. Came out here, we weren't sure what we were going to see from him, and he just lit it up, especially through the air. Had 3 passing touchdowns in that first half, really set the tone for this game. Grant Harper, probably the player of the game in this one, had an outstanding first half.
Yeah, and a couple mistakes in the second half, but really that was it. I mean, and the run game started working there towards the end. This was an all-out effort by UC Davis, and I was talking to some of their athletic administrators before the game, and they were saying, if there's one word that can describe this program, they said they just play as a team. It's just team, right? It's not just one player. Yes, Pinnock is a great player, but it's like they've got so many different weapons offensively, defensively, and UC Davis put together a complete package today and got the victory on the road. They are tied atop the Big Sky Conference with Montana now undefeated at 4-0. Northern Colorado still taking a step in the right direction. It's better than what we've seen over the last couple of years. But like we've been saying time and time again on this broadcast, just not able to get that last final push that allows them to get back into these games.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'll say this about UNC. They're not there yet, but they're a lot closer than they've been in quite some time. And for the people in Greeley, that's got to be something to get excited about. I think they got their guy in Coach Lamb. He's turning this program around from not a whole lot to work with, and he's been doing a good job in his third year here with UNC. Not there yet, but looks a lot better than what they've seen.
Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, spending your Saturday afternoon. Thank you to our incredible production team in the truck, our director, Amanda, and company. We thank you guys so much for watching. From myself, Christian Saez, and Matt Gator, we'll see you guys next time. This has been Big Sky College Football on ESPN+.